Hey everyone, this is Yosemite Sam's here and welcome back to my channel. So I wanted to do a review on The Lion King because I just came back from the theaters watching the movie. I came in very excited, really wanting to see because with the trailer, everything looks really good, especially with the animation. The animation looked hot, so I had to see it in theater. Even though this is one of my favorite movies ever since I was a kid. I love The Lion King. So I just had to watch it. I don't care. I paid my little $11 tonight and watched the movie. I didn't care. I sat between two families with two babies, one screaming in this ear, one was actually quiet on this ear. But it was all right because I was reliving my childhood watching this movie, okay? So I wanted to do a quick little review on this movie while it's still fresh in my mind and while I'm still up here. So stay tuned to hear what I have to say. In the beginning of the movie, I'm just smiling the whole time, just smiling the whole time because everything, exact replica of the original, exact. Like when, what's his name, Zazu, and he flew up and he was in front of Mufasa and then he did the thing with his wings. They did that in the animation, so I was like, oh snap, okay. Off to a good start. Then they got that baboon and he just he's walking and then of course he pulls up Simba. I was like, okay, this is coming out good. And then of course, you know Mufasa is the greatest James Earl Jones. Yes, that man is still here today and he was able to play the same part as he did back in the 90s when The Lion King came out, the original. Of course, he did a wonderful job. There were times where I felt like with the original, I felt like his voice was deeper. Like in certain parts, especially like when he said Simba in certain parts, I felt like his voice was deeper and louder. Whereas with this movie, it's not as deep. Shout out to the child, whomever the child was that played the younger Simba. Whoever did that voice did a great job. It actually sounded almost exactly the same as the original. Also with the singing too, they did a fantastic job with the singing. And the little girl that did Nala. Okay, so young Simba was J.D. McCreary. Sorry, I'm messing that name all up. So young Nala is Shahadi. Ray Joseph, I don't know her either, but she did a really good job with the singing. I really love that they stayed true to the songs and they really could sing. And here's one of the things that I was almost bugging on, but then I changed my mind about it. When it comes to the song and dance and, you know, the emotional scenes, you know, when Mufasa died in the original, that was like the most horrific scene for a child to see. You know, losing his father like that, and then the way he was crying and everything, but how emotional it was in the original. I felt like I didn't feel it. I was getting ready to, you know, I was at the edge of my seat. I was like, Scar's there. He did the thing. And I was like, oh snap. Okay. Let me brace myself because I'm about to cry. So he was like, long live the king. But with the animation, you know how like in original, Scar was like, and then Mufasa, he was like, Simba like, no! There was no emotion. Like, there was emotion with the voice actors, but not with the animation. So I was kind of bugging on that a little bit because I'm like, oh, they just messed up on the most memorable part that every child in the 90s had watching the original movie. When Mufasa died, like that was the worst. I was traumatized. It was traumatic. But with this one, I didn't feel it. I was like, boo. Oh, there was another part. So the man that played Scar, I know he's from 12 Years a Slave, Chiwetel. Hope I'm saying your name correctly. I was worried for him playing Scar. I hope he plays a good Scar. I hope he actually changes up his voice a little bit. And he did. He did a really great job. I was very surprised, and I was very I was satisfied, except for the most famous line of Scar when Simba, he's like, "What do I do?" And you know, Scar is like,
Run away and never return.
And it was a little flat, you know. It was a little flat when he said it. He didn't put that oomph in his voice. Like he didn't say it with his chest, you know, like he didn't like deepen the voice a little bit and made it and longed it out. It was just like, run away and never return. Like it was, you know, it was a little flat, but you know, whatever. That's just me. What made the movie, I have to say, was Timon and Pumbaa. I gotta give it to him. Seth Rogen, yo, he played a great Pumbaa. I didn't even know he was playing Pumbaa until I think like yesterday or something. I was like, wow, that is whoever picked them, they really know what they were doing, because he kind of looks like Pumbaa, you know? Kind of like how Eddie Murphy looks like Donkey on Shrek, you know? Like they kind of, you know, you can just tell by looking at the character, hey, Seth Rogen could play him. Let's get him over here. Seth Rogen played Pumbaa and Billy Eichner played Timon. And what I love is they switched it up. They knew who their character was and knew how to change their voice up. Like, I was a little worried for Seth Rogen because I would have felt as if he would have been playing himself in that character, when really he played a really good Pumbaa. Now, adult Simba and adult Nala were terrific as well. Because, you know, I was a little worried with Beyonce because I'm thinking, well, I wasn't worried. It was my aunt telling me about the trailer, and she was worried that Beyonce would just be Beyonce and not embody Nala, which she actually did. I didn't feel no type of way at all about, you know, Beyonce playing Nala. I was like, let me give her a chance. Let me listen to her lines and see if she actually became the character, and I think she did. I think she did a really, really great job. Everyone did a fantastic job. And I love Beyonce for Nala. I don't, you know, like, I'm not gonna say I don't like Beyonce. I just find her to be annoying at times, like when it comes to the music and stuff. But you gotta give credit when credit is due. And she did a really great job with Nala. I mainly watched this because of Donald Glover. I love Childish Gambino. I love him. No one liked him at the time when he was coming up. I felt like I was the only one, me and my ex-best friend, I felt like me and him were the only ones that knew of Childish Gambino and loved his music and everything. And I just feel like all of a sudden he's blowing up and everyone's in love with him now. And I'm like, I was in love with him in the beginning. Don't even act like I was never here. He did a great Simba. He did. They all did. It was wonderful. It was great, you guys. I was a little with the baboon. I'm glad that they showed the part where he was fighting. I'm glad they showed him with his stick, his whole staff, and he was beating them hyenas up. I love that because I thought they were going to put that in, because I felt like with the baboon, I felt like they weren't doing too much for him. I'm like, he plays an important part in The Lion King. And he's funny and he's wild. He's a baboon. So he wasn't as wild like the original. Let's get into the second most emotional part of The Lion King was when Simba looked in the water. Rafiki did that, and now in the water, his face changed to Mufasa, and then he hears him and he's like, of course, he does a fantastic part with that too, of course. But I just wish this was the most second emotional part of the movie. You know, when he's looking at him in the clouds and you see Mufasa just shows up as a cloud. In this movie, it's just of clouds. It's just clouds moving everywhere, lightning, shot, 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 shot. And then he's talking, of course. Everything is great with the voice. It's just the visuals. Like, it was just the clouds. It didn't actually do the whole Mufasa shape or anything. I was like, all right. Also wanted to see, which they did, was that fight. You remember in the original where Simba and Scar are fighting, and it's kind of like slow motion and they're like moving real slow and they're hitting each other in the face and everything. And it's like sparks and the embers and everything just flying in the air and stuff while they're fighting. It was exactly like that. The only thing was it wasn't as long, but they showed it. And that's all that matters. They showed that fight in slow motion. You actually seen everything. So that was awesome. I'm so glad that they put that in there. You know how like in the cartoons, they're able to mimic and draw their faces and have them cry and stuff because it's a cartoon. But with this one, they didn't do it as much. The only time I seen it was when Scar was about to get jumped by them hyenas. How they mimic his face, it looked like you could see the worry in his eyes and everything. Whereas it didn't. I felt like it didn't show that before throughout the whole movie until this part. So I thought that was cool. The way that Scar, was fighting the hyenas and everything, and the camera kind of goes up slowly on the stones and you see the shadows and the embers. It did that. It did that like in the original, which was great. At the end, the rain falls. And if you remember in the original, how Simba's hair was wet and he had like a little bang, and the back of the mane was wet too. He meets up with his mom. He meets up with Nala and everything. And then he walks up really slowly to the top. And then he starts to roar. And everyone knows that's another memorable part. It shows he's the king. He took his spot back. He's the king. I really loved how the animation was the complete replica of it. The only thing is, when it came to the song and dance, it wasn't like the cartoon, but I think the animators were trying to stay true to the realistic characters. So, a realistic boar or a realistic prairie dog isn't actually running up and down and singing and dancing and doing everything like in the original. Like, okay, they wanted to stay true to it. If this were real animals, how would they actually move? How would they actually, do this and this and that? So I felt like that's what they were trying to do. Everything like with the animation, it was just really a high standard. So I think it's taken it to the next level. So that's what makes this movie a masterpiece, is the hard work and time that they put into animating everything in this movie. You'll be like, oh, what's the point of watching The Lion King? I seen it 20 years ago. What's the point of seeing it again? I already know the story. I know the characters. I know the singing the song and blah, blah, blah. But what makes this one different is not only the voice actors and actresses, but the animation. So if you want to see a really good movie, you're still gonna laugh. You're still gonna, feel some type of way because it's your childhood. It's a movie that you've seen way back in the day that you've loved. So you're still gonna have all those emotions. You're still gonna laugh and sing along with the songs and everything. Just watch it. It's a really, really great movie. I didn't really get into the hyenas as much because I didn't like them for the hyenas. Like, they did a good job. It's just, I felt like they didn't put them in that much either, now that I think about it. That's all I really have to say about this movie. I will rate it a 10. But, of course, nothing can beat the original. Alright everyone, it's time for give and take. If you have seen this movie already, please put a comment below. Let me know how much you liked it. Thank you so much guys for watching this video. I really greatly appreciate you clicking on that button. Please like and subscribe. Watch my recent videos and stay tuned. I'm going to do lots more. Alright, thanks guys. Bye.